Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. Thank y'all again for stopping by the live stream. I see you on here, Jacob Tanjay. Thank you, and Michael Beach of Life. I hope he shows up today for all y'all do for this live stream, keeping it safe and respectable. As you know, we always got a topic, but this is your live stream. And I mean that we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the topic anyhow, but I just wanted to make you aware of what's going on now. Also, welcome any new viewers. This is your first live stream. Thank y'all for joining me. Anybody that's going to catch me on replay, and of course, my old heads. There's Leroy Day says, hello, sunshine shoulders. I hope that everyone's staying blessed, spiritually, health-wise, and economically. It says, when is San Carlos Day? I think that would be the perfect time for me to introduce myself to the Filipino community. Well, they've got a couple of days that they celebrate. One is Charter Day. That's the founding San Carlos. That's usually 1st of July. Excuse me. And then they have the Fiesta, the Pentafloris Fiesta. That's sometime in November. And these are big festivals over here for San Carlos City. The pesos actually went back up. It's 55.41. That's over 1 peso since the last time I talked with you. Excuse me. Which is great. There's another old head, Mystic Jam. One of the oldest heads, Jeffrey Tatter. I want to send our sincere condolences out to Raquel Welch, to the family of Raquel Welch. She passed away, I see. Man, she broke a lot of men's hearts. I believe she may have been the first, sex symbol that I can remember growing up. I'm almost sure of that. Raquel Welch, her and Ginger from Mary, and Marianne and all that from the Gilligan's Island. Yeah, that's crazy. But I'm here at the El Fisher Hotel in Bacolod. Maryland had to go see a specialist. I told y'all yesterday on my last vlog. And, see a specialist in St. Carlos City, it takes about 2 weeks. So she decided to come today. And we're staying in El Fisher. And I want to give you a tip before we get into the topic. I'm staying in the chalet section of the hotel. It's almost half price. If you come through, when you come through that front door and you book a room in the El Fisher, they're going to start you out at the 4,500 peso rooms. They're not even going to tell you about the chalet section of the hotel because this is a gigantic place. But the chalet is 2,500 pesos. And you get the access to the same delicious buffet breakfast in the morning, the same rooftop gym and swimming pool. You don't get a free 30-minute back massage, but they have, in my humble opinion, the best massage therapist on Negroes Island. Me and Merlin had one last night. We both went to sleep. I mean, they really are good. It's a little, it's not really, it's pricey compared to Filipino prices because this is like a luxury hotel, really. But it's only $450 if you go from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and then 500 after that. But man, it's worth it. It's one of the best. Hey, Mr. Biloxi Farm, and he said, hey, Alan, remember to listen to his advice. What's up, Louise? But yeah, it's the topic of the live stream is crying wolf on human trafficking and why we need to stamp this out, man. And I'm going to tell you where I got this from. One of my subscribers, he's here now in the Philippines visiting. He sent me an email, and he knows I don't like people sending me negative stuff. So I guess he he kind of hit me subtly with it. He was like, what do you think about this? Are you worried about this? And that's what he said. And then there's a link. So I click on the link, and it's an article, I guess an article from a stream, or, not a live stream, but like what do you call it when they're online and they're talking, a chat room or something. Well, anyway, the title of it was, how do y'all feel about this cringy passport bro movement? And then they had 2 screenshots of 2 videos from YouTube about the passport bros. And then the first comment was, oh, this is nothing but human trafficking. And I just shut it off after that. See, and I didn't put the link in here because I'm not going to advertise or promote that. But all you have to do is Google that and just say, what do y'all think of this cringy passport bro movement? I'm pretty sure it's going to pull it up for you. And the very first comment was that. And this is where they're going with this passport bro movement. This is how they're going to try to shut it down. Y'all know that they've always tried to label it as a sex tourism movement. And we're not helping, because every damn video you guys are making and putting on Facebook, it's all about a woman. You coming over here to meet a woman. Oh, look at the woman I've got. Okay, that can easily be spun, okay, into something negative, which is certainly not human trafficking, though. I mean, there's nothing forced about that. You more than likely you've been invited over here, and there's nothing. They're not doing anything against their will. See, and this is what the trolls and the haters and anybody, the detractors, they don't understand. You can't put everything under that umbrella of human trafficking, because it's more than just sex trafficking over here. There's forced labor and, of course, debt labor. Those are the 2 main things over here in the Philippines that they try to protect their citizens from. And then, of course, it's sex trafficking. But I wanted to talk about it, guys, because these people are crying wolf. They're crying fire in a crowded theater. And when you're in a place like the Philippines, it's going to get a lot of attention. Y'all already know what I went through, man. I'm not over here human trafficking, exploiting women, man. But all they have to do is bring that up, and the Philippine authorities going to be right on it. All right. One of my friends, I've been knowing him for years, since 2000, around 2010, 2011. He sent me a message. He said, Cal, he said, the passport bros are coming for you. He said, you started that in 2009. You was trying to warn us then. He said, we getting tired of these sisters over here, right? Well, I just want to warn you, when you come over here and they start hitting you with this human trafficking, man, it's going to kind of put a negative spin on what you're trying to do. And of course, we don't help it none, guys. There's more compelling reasons to get your passport and travel. But we're making it all about women. The people should be, they should be held accountable for filing these false allegations and all of that. And to the point to discourage them from doing it. Remember, women used to cry rape, and they still do now. Maybe the man comes in and catches the woman and the lover. The woman's, oh, he's raping me. Okay. And it's the same thing now. This human trafficking has become the new crying rape. And I just wanted to make y'all aware of it, man. And it's really pitiful, because they're trying to, it's certainly not human trafficking, guys. When you come over here to see a woman, when most of the likely you've been invited, it's consensual, nothing against, you're not forcing her to do anything against her will. It's not human trafficking, man. But that's a dog whistle now. So just remember that, passport bros, because I consider myself a passport bro only because I support that movement. I support brothers getting a passport, traveling, seeing their options, okay? And that's why I'm bringing this up on my platform today. And that's really all I want to say about that, man. Be careful, man. When you making those videos and you're so excited about getting overseas and everything, they're trying to spin it, man. They're trying to make it out to be a sex tourism movement. And we're not helping ourselves. We're not helping ourselves. Timbo Slice was at 559. He said, but it's okay for women to go to other countries. Yeah, see, they get a pass. But we're talking about what they're trying to do, man. They're trying to destroy this passport bro movement so bad that I'm thinking, like, did a black man even come up with this passport bro movement? Because a lot of times somebody from the opposition will come up with it, and then we're going to jump on the bandwagon, and then now all of a sudden, they set it on fire. Because I'm saying it's too easy what they're trying to do. We're making it too easy for them to destroy the movement before it even gets started. Because every damn video is about us parading some woman in front of the camera. Somebody, look at what I got. Hey, Ram Jam Rock said, what's up, Cal? I noticed that they're asking a lot of questions at the Manila airport when you take your girlfriend out of the country. Absolutely. Because they don't play about their human trafficking over here. The Philippines, it happens all the time, but it's not just sex trafficking, Rag Jam Rock. What they're really concerned about is this forced labor and debt labor, where they'll get you out of the country, but then they'll say, oh, well, you owe me 30,000 euro now. Well, you'll be working for them for the rest of your life to pay that off. And I applaud the Philippines for their efforts to combat human trafficking, but they're spending more and more time chasing ghosts because of these false allegations. They need to start rounding up these fools and bring down the full force of the law on them to discourage them from bringing up these false allegations, man. This human trafficking is so bad that it's nothing to play with. Like I said, it's like crying fire in a crowded theater or a bomb threat in the airport. See, it's the same damn thing, guys. They won't tolerate that. We shouldn't tolerate this. Anytime you see that happening, we need to report it. Anytime you see a video or whatever it is, report that, man. We got to stamp that out. Hey, Timothy Carter, he said, question off topic. He said, how you doing? I'm doing a lot better, believe it or not. Even though I'm coughing because my throat is dry. But he says, how do you maintain your driver's license? Okay, well, when you first come to the Philippines, your driver's license is good for 90 days, 90 days. During that 90 days, you can just make a switch. You can switch your license to a Filipino license. Of course, you're not going to lose your license, but you can get a Filipino license. That's probably what you want to do. But if you let it expire like John did, you got to go through the whole process over here. Okay? Now, when my driver's license expired, it's expired until I go back to America, if that's what you're talking about. Because you can't do it through the mail. And get security. What do you mean? He says, you mean Social Security and 401 to a bank that doesn't have a home address? Well, what do you mean? The home address for the bank or for you? My suggestion to anybody like me is to keep an address in the United States. Hell, you got children, you got brothers and sisters. Ask somebody to let your mail to continue to go over there. Just use their address. I mean, if not, you're going to be in a heck of a trouble trying to navigate and access your money and all that stuff. Yeah, just have them. My daughter I use her address, her mailing address. What's up, Robert? He said, hey, Calvin, 62 degrees in upstate New York today. I love your videos. Thank you, brother. Gene says 10-4. Bean, bean. Tino Louise was ginger. Yeah. William Maher says, you're right, Cal. Don't play their game. It's BS. Yeah, we're playing their game. We're putting the movement, we're giving the movement to them right on the silver platter with these old crazy videos. Look what I got. Come on, guys. Act like you've been somewhere before. Act like you've had something before. And you'll be okay. Okay, Mr. Vega said passport bro was a term invented by angry American women. Stop using that terminology. Expats have many different reasons for going overseas. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, and you may be 100% correct, it's just what I said. I said maybe the opposition came up with it, but we've made it our own. We've grabbed it and made it our own, Mr. Vegas. And I think that may be the problem. We jumped in the bandwagon. Now they set the bandwagon on fire because we're making it too easy. They're trying to destroy, and tarnish even more the image of the black man around the world. You would think that was enough, but it's not. Hold on, guys. That's already? You finished? Yeah. Oh, how much was it? How much? 1,300. Oh, okay. Yeah, we parading these women in front of these damn cameras, and we acting like a complete damn fool, man. Hey, Kevin, he said, just speaking, Cal, thanks. He said the passport movement is about getting away from Western women and their toxic behavior. Yeah, I agree with all of that. When you come to Southeast Asia, guys, listen to me. I've been coming over here for almost 14 years. That word human trafficking is a dog whistle, okay? Remember, I was coming back from Thailand, and these people had put these false allegations with me. I didn't even know it. So immigration is looking at that, man, they looking at me, I'm a big black guy, and they're thinking, they put me through the ringer, man, and they never even asked about, I'm like, well, who are these people? Do I have the right to confront my accusers? I'm just telling people who've never been over here. When they talk about human trafficking in the Philippines, man, it's a big deal, guys. Hey, Sam Champion said, Cal, I hate to say it, but when the luster and the newness wear off, guys might start running for the border. The Philippines are a life you have to want and not just imagine yourself being there. There's a lot of truth in that, Sam, but I'm going to tell you, it's not that bad. It's not that bad anymore it's becoming more and more appealing as things get worse and worse over there. Another mass shooting. Moochie T was telling us about that. It was the last live stream I had. He came on. It was an active shooter. This is before the numbers had come in. I think it's 3 dead, 5 injured, man. You don't hear about that stuff going on over here. Yashua L. Trust said, thank you, Bro Cal, for discussion of this very important topic, which has been happening for years now. Yeah, they deal with stuff like that. Okay, try to go into an airport and with a bomb threat and see what happens to you. You might even have a peanut in your damn pocket and you saying it's a bomb threat. They're going to deal with you. Go into a movie theater and scream fire and let everybody trample over each other. It's the same thing with this. They're crying wolf on this sex trafficking, man. And then when a real victim needs help, they're going to miss it because they're going to say, oh, this is another one of these damn ignorant ass trolls or haters calling something in. Hey, Paul. Besa, he says, Cal, good morning to you. Watching and listening from Caloocan, North Metro Manila. Wow, proud of all Black Filipinos seeing them in YouTube. Hey, thank you, man. But I'm going to talk about another side of this, see, because it's so easy to gravitate toward the negative, okay? Especially when it comes to a movement, something like the Passport Bros. You know, we need to, I came up with I had a program several years ago when I was in the United States. It was called The Resurrection. Black Men Stand Up. And what we did, we were recognizing just regular, everyday Black men, Black fathers and everybody in the community, you know, who was doing the right thing because the right thing to do. We get just overlooked. You got to just be like a celebrity, you know, something like that. So I gave out awards, man. We went out and spent money for trophies and plaques. You know, we had like the Man of the Year and stuff like that. It was a big, big deal. I had no idea it was going to be so big. Okay. But it was. And the whole point was we have to take control of the image of the Black man around the world. And I know my white and Asian viewers, listen, just be patient with me. This is important. We're not going to talk about this all day. But I'm saying that they're trying to destroy, it's just another attempt to destroy the image of the Black man. Okay, we're not doing anything different than anybody else. Okay, but we've made it easy for them. But yeah, we have to take control. So that's one of the reasons why you see me on YouTube. I'm an ambassador, man. I try to make y'all aware of this stuff. They're crying wolf over here on this Passport Bro movement before you even get here. Hey, Coach East, thanks for that super chat. Said 450 mass shootings in the U.S. since 2000. Wow. Really? Is it that many? What's, you know, but, you know, we don't want to get into that because then you're going to get people on here arguing and saying it's the media, which the media does contribute to that. But yeah, brother, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. You need anything else? Huh? You got enough? Okay. So is it good or bad? I thought you got the results today. Oh, the doctor. Okay. So when you come back, then we'll head on back. Okay. Hey, thanks, RC and Jax, for that super chat. He says, yo, Cal, hope all is well. Get me an email address, brother. Want to reach out. Peace. Okay. Let me see. I will. It's Cal Roach. Is Michael Beach Life on here? I don't know if he is. You can put my email up, Jacob Tanjay, calroach1@gmail.com. Oh man, this is a great point, Dana. He said, Calvin, I no longer choose to live in a place where I'm wondering if I can make it home safely. Hey, Harry, he said, hey, everyone. Renee Jimenez says, violence and sex sells. Men are attacked while women do the same thing and nothing is said. Yeah. I said that a long time ago. You know, I said, I made a video. It's called Stop Calling Me a Sex Pat. But YouTube wouldn't, with that sex pat word there, but, you know, I guess they've loosened up on it now. They wouldn't monetize it, so I had to change it. But in that, I was saying gays and women get a pass when they traveling overseas for love and romance and sex. But men, we don't get a pass. It's always the negative. Sam Johnson said, Cal, you're right. Some asshole called in a fake bomb threat at a Black-owned kids daycare in Louisville. Interrupted the business all day today. Wow. You see what I'm saying? Now parents are rethinking about leaving their kids there. This is what I'm talking about, guys. We got to stop this. We got to get on top of this human trafficking thing. There's nothing to play with over in Southeast Asia. Maybe it's the reason why people are afraid to come here, because of that reputation. I'm telling you that it's a bad reputation, man. You very seldom, if ever, are going to see that kind of stuff. Okay, there's my email. Thanks, Jacob Tanjay, in the RC in Jax. And you really don't have anything to worry about. But what these people are trying to do, they're turning up the heat. you know, they're crying wolf. That's what they're called. You can't call they're calling everything human trafficking. If I interview a woman right today, if I interviewed my own woman, Marilyn, they would say I'm exploiting Filipino women over here in human trafficking. Hey, Fortune International Seminar, I say, hey, Calvin, sorry about Tuesday. I am on with you now. This is Scott. Oh, okay, let me send you the link, Scott. I'd like to get you on here real quick. Guys, give me a second. This is a new guy. I wanted to introduce him to the panel because I think he's got a lot of interesting things to say, and he's in an interesting area. He's actually in Pamigan Island, which is a beautiful place. I mean, it's a real, real beautiful place. If I can, they're not gonna let me do it on here. Shit. Hold on. Wait. Hold on, guys. Let me see what's going on real quick. Just real quick. Give me 5 seconds. Okay. Scott. I just want to send him this real quick. Let me find the email that he sent me. Oh, here it is. Okay, Scott, what I'm doing is I'm replying to your first email that you sent me, and I'm just going to put the link in there. Nothing fancy, okay? And then I need you to go ahead and, well, hell, this is really I'm really making this out to be more than it is, guys. It's not that difficult. I sent it, Scott, to your email. Mr. Vega said Big Shirley doesn't want to fix herself, so she has to take out her anger on men who have seen the light and will no longer play a big game. It's more than Big Shirley, man. Believe it or not, it's men actually crying wolf over here. What's up, Cedric? Derek Casanova said, Big Cal, you stopped recording in front of the mirror. I hope Maryland's not mad. No, I'm in the hotel. We came to Bacala, Derek, last night because she had an appointment today. I was quick. She got done quick. David S. says, living in America mandates keeping your head on the swivel. Gun violence is now a pandemic. Yusuf Amal Habib says, when experts say the Philippines isn't for America and you might not like it, what is it the most that might turn somebody off? Is it the weather, the food, or what? Well, you know, it's our attitude, really. It has nothing to do with the Philippines. You're not going to change the Philippines. Okay, but it's a bunch of things, but it's mostly our attitude, because I don't have a problem over here. And most of the people that I deal with, we don't have a problem over here. Okay, here's Scott. Let me let him in. Hey, brother, thanks, man, for joining us. Hey, I can't hear you. Go into your settings. Right when you enter the studio, it's going to say settings, and go ahead and click the, enable your microphone.
Hi, How about now?
Yeah.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. I went on and clicked on with my, I'm using my data now. The Wi-Fi here is foolish. Okay, now he's asking, he said, I'll rephrase my question. What is the most that people won't like about the Philippines? You know, some people don't like the heat. You know, some people don't like, I don't know why, but they say they don't like the food. Okay, it's too far away. You know, the language. They can come up with any kind of excuse, man, if you don't want to be here. But most of the people that I deal with, that I come across, they don't have any complaints. It's the Philippines. It's not wherever you're from. And I can't get that, you know, through through people's heads. We're on the same earth, guys. Okay, we're all human beings. It just don't look the same where you are. You're no better than them. You know, they say the infrastructure. Well, what do you mean? What are you trying to do? Build a damn atomic bomb? Whatever you're trying to do, you can do it over here. I don't care what you're talking about. Look what you're trying to do. Yeah, I froze because I switched from my from the Wi-Fi here, which is crap. Excuse me, to the data. Okay, we hear you on this end. Okay. So what about now? Can everybody hear me now? What's going on, guys? Can everybody hear me now? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be, I may be able to do it now on my data. Let me see. Let me try it now. Okay. What's up, Scott? I can't hear you.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm doing well, sir.
Oh, okay. There you go. Now, give us a little background, you know, just a brief background, like, you know, your connection to the Philippines, where you are, how long you've been here.
Yeah, just like the first say, you know, when the dodges of life make you feel as though your back is against the wall, you have a couple of options: to lie there and give up, or bounce back to accomplish your mission, goals, and dreams. I retired from the U.S. Army June 1st of 2020. And I had always had in mind, especially since, you know, like 2015, in the back of my mind that I would like to explore Asian women. And part of that came from some of the, you know, my time over in South Korea and stuff. But when it came to retiring and really being intentional about the life that I wanted for myself, I sat down, and one of my business partners, like a brother to me, is named Sean in Southern California. He asked me if I've ever been on dating sites, and I said no. So I went to a Christian dating site. They wanted you to explore a lot of women on there. And I found that after talking to only 3 people that one person stood out in particular, and it became an emotional experience at that point where I knew that I couldn't talk to the other 2, even though the dating people wanted me to do it. And I met one person, but the crazy thing is when you're intentional and you kind of know what you want and you paint that picture in your mind, that person appeared, and that's where I'm at now. I'm over here on Comigan Island, and thanks to my friend Sean, he goes, "Hey, have you ever heard of this YouTube guy? He calls himself Sunshine Shoulders." He goes, "I think you need to check him out." Long story short, I checked your page out, and you were talking about some of the things that you need to do to get yourself in order to visit the Philippines. Man, I listened to your YouTube channel a few times, made my checklist, and look where I'm at now. I live here now. Retired 32 years in the Army, and I'm over here not far from you.
Wow, you did 32 years?
Yes, 32 years. I went in right after high school. I'm 53 years old, Calvin.
Wow, man, you put in your work. But see, I was just talking about this the other day. I guess they think I'm blowing hot air when I say the guys who come on my channel, we're accomplished. You know what I mean? To do 32 years in the military, you're not some dummy. That's a fact, right?
I did a lot of time, the last 15 years in the special operations community at Fort Bragg, where I was an instructor for the special operations community, the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center in school. And I retired out.
Yeah.
At the top, I used to develop training for them. And now I just work with my cousin Les Brown and John Maxwell. I run a leadership company called Fortune International Seminars.
Oh man, well, Les Brown, I'm sorry. I was just looking at one of his videos today. I look at it every single morning. He's part of it. It's called Dream Motivation. The thumbnail is Will Smith on the front. And he's talking him and Will Smith, and I think it's one other guy on there. And I listen to it every single morning. And he's one of the first guys I really started listening to, but I don't read his books. I like more to listen to Les Brown versus reading him. But let me answer this question from Scott. He says, "How do you like Comigan Island? Is it too remote for you?" Or?
So I love it here. First of all, it's a beautiful island. When we're in America, we dream about living this good life of paradise and everything, right? You got to be careful what you wish for, especially when you're intentional like me. You got to be careful what you wish for, because you'll find yourself on a beautiful island like this. Anybody that's ever flown over this or flown in here will see that it's absolutely beautiful. I don't think it's remote, Calvin, because I'm only a 15-minute Pacific Air flight away from you, Cebu Pacific. And then I get on the ferry, and then within an hour and a half, we're already over in Cagayan de Oro. And that's where millions of people are. There's a lot of people. There's only about 90,000 people on this side.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love it. It's amazing.
I visited one time.
Yeah.
I visited one time in 2011, and I fell in love with the place. It was just a little tiny place. When I was there, which, like I said, it's been over almost 12 years ago, they had one ATM machine, and hell, my card didn't work. It was like a local ATM, man, and I had to send some money, lawyer or something, I can't remember. But see, when you talk about be careful what you wish for, because it just might come true. See, I live by that. You know, there's a video out called Thoughts Become Things, you know, and the good thoughts and the bad thoughts. See, so he's saying that be careful what you think about, because, you know, it may get picked up out there in the ether, and more than likely it is. But it's the reason, it's the same reason, Scott, that I'm sitting here. Okay, this was intentional. I wrote it down I used to have a booklet, okay, that this guy, his name was Mike Dooley, that he suggested that you fill in pictures of the places you want to go, the house you want to live in, the watch, the car, and all of that, right? And I did that, man. Of course, you know, when I wanted to come to the Philippines, I didn't have one nickel in my pocket. I was behind on my mortgage, but I started looking at this journal every day. I was burning it in my mind. And 7 months later, not only did I have enough money to come to the Philippines, I could have brought 4 or 5 more people with me. So yeah, you speak in my language when you talk about stuff like that.
I honestly feel it's only because of your channel and the information that you put out is really what gave me that nudge and to come on over here. And when you can make an informed decision about things that you want, get the information, and then go, it calms you a little bit. And honestly, if it wasn't for Sean saying, hey, check out Shine Shoulders, check out Calvin, I don't know if I'd be sitting over here right now where I am right now. So I'm telling you, anybody listening to Calvin, take notes. Like, don't just listen to it. Go back and listen to it again and again and take notes and really get it in your mind and start being intentional. Life doesn't give us what we want. It gives us who we are. And if we continue to stay in the arena and not dare to step on the court and take the shot, we're just going to be spectators. And you helped me do that, Calvin. You helped me get out of the stands and get on the court and take the shot. And that's why I'm here in as little time as it took me to get here.
Now, are you married, brother? And thank you really for that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that, man. That introduction, basically. But yeah, are you married? Are you have a fiance? Or
I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to be very transparent and vulnerable, if that's okay. And I'll do this in about 15 seconds. So I have been in an official legal separation for years now. Even as I was transitioning out of the military. And to answer your question, my divorce will be final on the 27th of February. And I'm treading carefully because I know there's viewers who may be upset what I'm about to say, but my divorce is going to be final. But I met someone here who is just the love of my life, and that idea person that I had in the back of my mind with Chinese features. She's Filipina, but she's got those Chinese features, the long, beautiful hair, 46 years old. And it's a dream come true. So on the 27th, I'll be officially divorced. I've been separated for years, living alone. I followed this little 12-minute sermon that I seen a few years ago. It's called Why God Wants You to Be Alone. There was a moment of clarity in that time that I was alone in Phoenix. I was just sitting there, still, just listening for a voice to say, go here, go there, and not resort back, to old ways and old habits. And Almira fell in my lap. I mean, she was literally presented to me. It's unbelievable. So on the 27th, that's done and over back in the States. And then we're set up to get married, and she's my ride and die. I'm telling you, my ride and die. And I don't care what anybody says. Oh, be careful of those Filipino women. They just want your money. You go broke in America and see how quick you're gonna be by yourself. Trust me on that. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, yeah, but see, you're speaking to the choir, guy, I know for a fact I'm living what you're saying, but to other people listening, they're saying it sounds too magical, it sounds too spooky. I don't believe it. I don't think things happen like that. I think, my footsteps that they think are what do you call it? Scripted or whatever before, I was ever born. And see, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that you can think and grow rich. I believe that. And that's what you've done. So if you said, hey, I believe this woman fell right into my lap because she's she has all the features that I ever wanted in a woman. See, I'll get that. I get that because that's what the subconscious man is going to do. It doesn't know the difference between a penny and $1 million, but it's going to it's going to find the most direct path to get you to where you're trying to go. Okay. And
man,
everything you're talking about, man.
Calvin, you're giving me goosebumps. I literally have goosebumps all over my body. I'm going to tell you something. You talked about, the conscious mind. The reason why most of us don't have anything is because we're too busy operating in the familiar. In the subconscious is where we're safe at, right? Because we're on autopilot there. But when you raise your awareness and start being deliberate about the things you want in your life, I don't care if it's money, romance, traveling, the car you want to drive. When I was watching your videos, I said, okay, I'm taking note. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do step 2 of what Calvin said. And here's another example. I don't know if you guys can hear the banging and hammering and stuff going on behind us. We have contractors here. I could probably have done it in America, but the crazy thing is we're watching this dream home show on Netflix. And we're sitting there going, man, I wish we could do that to our house, make our dream kitchen. Do you know within a week after we said it and voiced it, we now have double mahogany French doors on the front entrance. We have brand new ceilings in the living room. Over on this side where I'm pointing, we have a family room with ceilings. They just finished the tile work. The guy's building our kitchen island. But just because we're being deliberate and speaking it, I used to dream about doing that stuff in America, but we're doing it here. The whole back of our house is going to be glass. We can see the Bahal Sea and the volcano right here that we live at the base of. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but what you're saying?
No, you're not. We need to hear that because people think I'm crazy. I've been talking about it for 2 years, and people think that, this guy's crazy. They don't realize the reason I'm sitting here, is because of those books and what I took from those books and applied in my life. Because my ex-wife, we used to get into arguments. She's like, those books don't work. And I have to agree with her. Of course they don't work if you don't apply the principles inside the books. Okay, but a lot of this stuff, the reason we don't do it, Scott, you were saying, and we don't raise our thoughts and dream bigger because nobody ever taught us that. What I wanted to say was we believe our footsteps are ordered. We think, my life is like this because God wants me to be like this and all of that, right? So that's why some people never even try. And then of course, they don't teach you this in school. Andrew Carnegie, or Carnegie, however you want to pronounce it, he said if this was taught in school, it would cut the time in school in half. And I certainly believe it because I always speak it into the universe, is what I told Marilyn. Everything that I've got in my life today, I spoke it into existence. Okay, I couldn't just sit back and wait for it. I started taking baby steps. See, you got to believe it first before you ever see it. But what do you hear people say? I'll believe it when I see it. No, you got to believe it first. Okay, and then the universe will start to conspire on your behalf, bringing the people and the circumstances together to make it a reality. Okay, now you try to tell that to these woke ass people in 2023, they're gonna look at you like you crazy.
You know,
and, okay.
Goodness. I had no idea your channel was going to take this route. It does. But see what happens when we go through life casual. We're going to become a casualty. We are. When you go through life casual, you're going to become a casualty. And then things that happen in your life, you're just going to call it luck or fate because there's no other explanation because you are allowing things to just happen to you. And instead of demanding the things that you want in life. But I'm going to tell you, honestly, watching your channel and listening to you and doing those necessary steps that it took to get over here. And then, you know, I'm not seeing people with their pants sagging here. No one's fighting, shooting at the Lanzones Festival. Everybody went home. Like, it's like, sure, America is a great country. I defended that country and still do, even, you know, after 32 plus years. But there's just some things over here that are it almost makes you not want to go home. But when you're just being intentional and enjoying it over here, it's just amazing, Calvin. And I'm gonna take you up on one of those offers and meet you in person too. It's crazy. It's beautiful over here. I'd say come on over and check it out. The only thing I'm gonna say, and my well, Almira, I can't call her my wife yet, but
yeah,
I call her
my wife. Here, you know, we got a meet and greet February 25th. Right.
Okay. Yeah. But you know how we are in America. We're loud and proud. And we want everybody to see us. We want to thump our chest. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. You got to calm that down over here and just be humble and blend in and just vibe over here and not be so loud and like we are in America. And people will respect you and come up to you and just say, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, you know, and life is good over here. It's amazing.
It is, but you know, you said something, it's like it makes you not want to go home, but this is what I preach. You are at home. Man has created all these, you know, what do I want to say? Well, anyway, all these titles and all these divisions, right? The earth belongs to us all. You know, you are at home. You know, that's why when I used to come over here, every time I had to leave, I would start crying, man. My eyes would well up, and I didn't want to go back. And I'm thinking, like, well, damn, it should be the opposite. You know, I should be happy to go back home, you know. But I was crying because I was home already. And that's what I'm trying to get people to see. All these divisions are man-made. We're all human beings, man, at the end of the day. You know, they call themselves Filipinos over here, but what are they really? You know, before it was called the Philippines, it was something else, you know, and it's crazy, man, you know, but when you start talking deep like that, you lose people. And so you have to, you know, meet people where they are, man. But yeah, I am home. I don't give a damn what nobody says. But anyway, let me say this about, because we were talking about crying wolf on human trafficking. The negative, this negative spin that they're trying to put on this movement. Well, let me give you a short story real quick. It's a friend, well, he's not a friend of mine. We belong to a group that I think it was brothers married to Filipinas or Filipinos married to brothers or whatever it was. It was just a Facebook group of nothing but Filipinas and black men. Okay, so This guy, you know, he was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they had been married for 17 years or whatever, but his wife had a stroke, man. I mean, a devastating stroke. And don't you know, man, over the course of like a year or whatever it was, this man showed his devotion to his Filipino wife. We never see that side. It's always the negative side. Every day he would post something on Facebook, man. I mean, the hairs on my arms are getting, it's standing up, because this is the stuff that I tell people. These are the stories we need to put out there. He would post, she was in a coma, man. If she would have been in the Philippines, she would have certainly died, okay? And certainly not married to him, but his undying devotion to this woman, man, is the story. It should have made the news, but of course they're not gonna put it on the news. So he'd show a post of her in the bed in a coma, and he, you know, that would be the post. Then 3 or 4 weeks later, her eyes is open. Then later she's sitting in a wheelchair. Then he's following her as they trying to make her, help her walk again. I mean, she got a patch over her eye. I mean, she's no longer the woman he married. This stroke down there killed this woman, man. But for him to stay there beside her, I mean, it's something, man, that the whole world should see. But of course, they're not going to tell it, but I'm going to tell it. See, that's the other side. We need to gain control of the image of black men around the world. This black man stood behind his wife, man. I don't know if I would have did it, you know, because we selfish, we're shallow, but man, he stayed there, and until she's home. She's home now. She may never be her true self again. But that story, man, really touched me, man. I just wanted to talk about that today, because we never hear that side. It's always all what the Filipino does for the man. It's never what the man does and what we bring to the table. That woman would be dead today if it wasn't for the fact he brought her to America and then stood by her until she got better. You know, it's a wonderful story, man. I just wanted to, you know, just kind of talk about that, because nobody else is going to talk about it. All they want to talk about is, you know, just the negative stuff, you know, but it's a great story, and one I wish I had permission to tell, because I would surely tell it. It's beautiful, man. It's true love. True love does happen over here. I know I get on people's, you know, nerves sometimes, say, hey, you know, they initially want us for money, the new life and everything like that, which is true, but love does develop, man. And it's certainly developed in that case. It's a wonderful story, but nobody's ever going to tell that. So that's enough of that. One guy said, what's your biggest challenge, Scott? What has been your biggest challenge so far?
So the biggest challenge for me is I get checked because I want to give too much, right? I have a big heart, and if you're not living to add value to others and help others, then what's the whole purpose of living? So my biggest challenge is not like the contractors that are here. I want to pay them more. I just want to pay them more because what these guys are doing here and the beautiful work they're doing, not one person on this call would do the work they're doing for the amount of pay that these guys are getting paid. So my biggest challenge, Calvin, is being very careful on how much I give over and above what the rate is for pay here. And we give a little over and above, but I have to be careful not to give double, triple that. That's probably my biggest challenge, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I talk about that all the time. And yeah, you have to be real careful, because you're probably not going to do them any favors. Now, what I would suggest you do is maybe give them a bonus when they're done, when they're finished. That's what I did, you know, because you're right. But remember, you can't change the Philippines. If you come in here, you know, they know what you know, the daily rate is for what they do. Okay, you may start a mutiny, you know, by giving them 1,000 pesos a day when they know they used to earning 450. Okay, what happens when they leave Scott's house? Now they're expecting 1,000 when they're not gonna get it, you know. So yeah, I would probably try to give them a bonus. Just give them a bonus, because it's amazing the work they did on my house. Did you watch any of the videos of my house being built?
I seen the initial video. I didn't see the finish.
Yeah, what I made sure to do, and this is what you can do, and this is a way of giving them more too, Scott. We supplied them with lunch every single day, and then on Saturday, I bought them beer. So, you know, that's something to think about too.
Hey, on last Friday, they didn't even want to leave. They we got them a couple bottles of St. McGill's after they worked. They were here till the wee hours of the night just drinking. Then it became 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. And that's really how we show, you know, our appreciation for the work they're doing. And by the way, Calvin mentioned 1,000 pesos. That's roughly, Calvin, correct me if I'm wrong, give or take roughly $20, less than $20, 1,000 pesos. So the average.
Yeah, less than that now.
Yeah, so these guys are, in a sense, to your listeners, Calvin, like the head guy, the head contractor here is making $12 a day, working from 8 to 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, that's the whole point, you know. But see, remember, we bring our Western thinking over here, and sometimes it can work against us. You know, we're not at home anymore, and you know, you got to learn how to kind of, you know, turn that off and on, you know, as it's appropriate. And that's one of the things, because you come over here, nothing's going to make sense to you over here, Scott. Okay, it never will. And it's not supposed to, because you're in the Philippines. You're not down there in Florida, you know, Washington, D.C. and all of that, see? So it's never going to make sense. You're going to be like, man, you know, because I had one of the top electricians in all the Negros Island. He wired my house for $200. You know, and I'm like, well, I bet not, you know, I better just sit back and let him do his thing. I don't want to mess up nothing. You know, Philip Cooper, this is a good friend of mine. He said, Scott's a solid dude. They seem to attract to you. Great hearing his story. Love to watch you do a one-on-one video with him one day. Oh, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. I just wanted to introduce y'all to him. I'd never talked to you before, right, Scott?
Never.
This is the first time.
You're right. We know who Michael Jackson is. I knew of you because of your show, but you didn't know me, right?
Right.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here.
Hey, thank you. But when you was telling me about his background, I was like, this guy's interesting, man. He's gonna be interesting to bring to the panel. You and the other guy, his signal was so terrible, and he was in the United States, but he had figured out a way to live here on $700 per month. And I certainly needed my viewers to hear that. Now, on a little place like yours, on a little island like where you live, that wouldn't be so hard to do.
So, right? You want to hear the truth or a lie? Let me just ask. So, my retirement, with my military retirement and my combat related disability pay, everything, I do over $81,000 a year just in retirement income. Wow. I'm doing a little, just right at $8,000 a month, right? That goes a long way over here, you know. And when you're looking, you know, to add value to others and bless others with the work we're doing, we're able to literally pay people's salaries and wages over here. One of the things that touched my heart about Almira was when I met her, she worked abroad, but then she was working as a lab tech here at the hospital on the island. And for all of your listeners, Calvin, she was making them only $94 every 2 weeks. $94 every 2 weeks, getting pretty, going to work, dressing nice. And that really messed with me a little bit. So yeah, I was able to retire her. And but that the money over here goes a long way. You cannot buy French doors, solid mahogany doors for $200 in America. You can't. And put that in your house. All the work that we got done is less than 2,000 US dollars. Honestly, all the ceiling, the living rooms, the kitchen, all less than 2,000. But we're also able to pay a wage to workers here and bless them as well. So your money goes a long way, but you got to watch because you can overspend quick here too. I digress.
Yeah, you're giving a lot of great information, man. You know, hell, you couldn't get a damn door. The doorknob's gonna cost you a lot of money over in America, let alone mahogany. But see, this is what I was telling people when I was building my house. We built our house during the pandemic, Scott, during the lockdown. So people, it went over their heads how much we were helping people. We were paying all those salaries, man, for 3 months, you know, and it may not seem like a lot to people, but over here, man, it was like, these guys like they hit the gold mine. You know, see, that's what I'm talking about, giving back. You know, I built my house for $20,000, man. There's no way I could do that in America. I mean, it's just how it is, you know. And I can't sit over here and live the best life that I possibly can and not share it with everybody around me. I can't, you know, I can't help everybody, but that's no excuse not to help as many people as I possibly can. That's why after every video that I do, people say, well, you know, don't you think you don't need to say that anymore, Calvin? You know, people know that. I said, no, I need to say that every single video to remind myself that helping other people, when you help other people, you help yourself. We don't believe it. And that's why we don't help more people. Okay?
Calvin, if more people... If more people just lived on that principle where you're talking about, just that, when you add value to others and when you help enough people get what they want in life, you're going to get that back triple fold in return. But you don't have to do it just for those reasons. You do it out of love and respect and kindness. And it just opens up windows to blessings to where your cup overflows. But you don't do it for that. You do it out of love because God is love. And we do it for those reasons. And anybody listening to this and listening to Calvin, take him on it. Don't, just test him on it. Just test it and see what happens. Some of us are sitting here in at the bottom of the barrel wondering, hey, why not me? Why not me? Well, you start helping other people and watch what happens. You're going to have so much that you have no other choice but to give to somebody. But I get checked here, and Almira reminds me, hey, we don't just chill out a little bit because you want to help everybody. But we're just thankful to be in a position like this. Seriously.
Absolutely. A lot of people, they don't understand it, but hell, you don't understand the law of gravity. You don't understand physics either. But if you get on top of this damn hotel and jump off, you know what's going to happen. You're always going to go down. You're never going to go up, right? The minute you jump off, the law of gravity takes a hold. It's the same as when you start giving. The minute you make it up in your mind to help somebody, okay, the law of compensation takes over. And it's going to reward you 100 times, sometimes 1,000 times. When I started Sunshine Shoulders, I had 0 subscribers. I had a Facebook page. And I told my wife, I said, we're going to sacrifice 1,000 pesos every Friday to help Filipinos during the pandemic. And you know what she told me? We can't afford it. We're going to go bankrupt over here. Because she didn't understand the law of compensation. 2 years later, man, we've given away almost 2 million pesos, man. I quit counting. You know, but I'm just saying, you know, the law is real. You know, you got your physical laws and you got your mental laws, but nobody ever teaches about this stuff. You know, we're taught that everything's ordered for us, you know, and you're poor because God made you poor, and you're gonna be poor. You know, you're gonna get your reward later on. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I would follow a God like that. You know, you're talking about God. You're talking about, when people talk about God, you're talking about all knowing, all powerful, and you are a child of God, so you should have just about anything you want. You know, hell, what is that right? If you call yourself a child of God and you over here struggling, that don't make sense to me.
Yeah, and if you're a believer and you believe that He wants you to have life and have it much more abundantly, that even here on earth as well as in heaven, He wants us to have an abundant life. Does that mean money all the time? Not necessarily, but I'm going to say this: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Things happen because they happen to us on a low scale because we're too busy operating subconsciously in the comfort zone. But when you're willing to stretch and start believing that those things that you think about, the things that you dream about every day, to your viewers, there's something nudging you right now. Every day there's something nudging you. Maybe I better go check out the Philippines. Maybe I better have a better relationship with my wife. Maybe I better make that call to my son and daughter that I haven't talked to in a while. Maybe I better stop making excuses and just own my life. Things will start manifesting themselves a hell of a lot better for you. Trust me on that. When you direct your life, and like Calvin, man, you're killing me over here. I'm cold. I'm literally freezing, and it's 80-some degrees out here because you got that many goosebumps on me, Calvin, because what you're speaking is the truth. We have to be intentional about our life and go after whatever it is that we want, and then we'll stop making excuses. Oh, the government. Oh, Joe Biden's this. Oh, Donald Trump's that. We can stop making excuses and own our own economies and our own self and our own direction. Then you might be able to come over here and hang out like I'm going to hang out with you, man. I'm going to be deliberate about hanging out with you. I go off on tangents, man.
It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not, or whether you understand it or not. It's real. There's the invisible laws or the invisible forces are the most powerful. Look at electricity. Look at the wind. You can't see it, but it's there. You know it's there. You know, but when you get older, man, you become more stubborn. You know, you become more set in your ways. It's like trying to learn a new language. It's difficult. So when somebody tells you, man, you know, you can change your life, boom, right today, you're not going to believe it. You're going to be like, man, I've always struggled. I'm going to struggle till I die. You know, it might work for you, Calvin, but it's not going to work for me. See, I used to think that same way. I stopped drinking May the 13th, 1998. Will be 25 years that I haven't had a drink, drug, cigarette, or anything, okay? Only when I started believing it was possible did that ever happen. Okay, it's the same thing, what it is that you're trying to do. Let me get some water, guys. And, you know, it's time that we start talking. You know, I try to keep it positive as much as I can. It's enough negative going on out there, guys, you know, in the world. You know, they're pushing negative over there. And now, you know, it's all this talk. They're trying to mess up this wet dream that we got going on over here by talking about going to war with China. It's a lot of war talk going on now. I'm pretty sure you've heard it, Scott. being 32 years in the military, has that ever crossed your mind that, you may have to leave all of this behind because they're fighting over here?
I feel the tension. I feel the tension, but we have to be careful too, because what I've noticed in all my travels, in the conflicts I've been in, my first war, I was 20 years old, ousting Noriega over in Panama. That was my very first conflict as an infantryman with 7th Infantry Division. I kind of see what's going on over here. The military just invited the U.S. to come back over here and start occupying some of the military bases. Because of what China's doing down in here, keeping fishermen from fishing to feed families over here. But this is one thing I know. In all my travels, people are people wherever you go. The governments create that division because they want people to take sides with them. So they're going to make the Chinese look like they're bad people. They're beautiful people. If Calvin, if you and I go over there now, they're going to embrace us. They're going to invite us to sit down to eat, just like they will here in the Philippines. So they just want us to have this negative thought pattern toward them. But everybody needs air, water, a shelter, and love. If we can occupy those things, life is golden, man. But we got to stop letting the media direct our life, and we have to direct our own life. I don't know if that goes into what you want me to say, Calvin, but that's really what's on my heart to say.
Well, it is, because it's exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said 2 days ago. Go back and look at my live stream. I said, they're building up this enemy. They're trying to make China be so bad now, so that it's easier for us to get on board when it comes time to strike. That's all they do. They're building it up. It's that theater of war. But and I know, I did 4 years in the Navy, that the only people that's going to suffer is the innocent men, women, children, and babies. The powers to be are not going to struggle. Because a guy asked me yesterday, he said, Calvin, would you leave Maryland and Bowie over here if the United States had to evacuate you? It was a hell of a question. It was one I never even thought of. But I said, no. I said, if Bowie doesn't have her CRBA, Maryland doesn't have a visa, I got to stay here, man. I would be a coward to run away and be safe over there. But meanwhile, they're over here, So, yeah, I don't want to get into that, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, because every day you look on the news, man. They're on the news today that the China, they're going to retaliate against America for shooting the balloon down. And, it's just, I'm like, man, whatever happened to diplomacy? But anyway, where you are, there's probably very little traffic, right, Scott?
Very little.
Very little traffic where you are. But I wanted to talk about crossing the street over here, because I'm in Bacolod right now. It's an urban city. It's one of the expat alley cities. And there's no lights this is a main road. It would be Broadway where you are, or Martin Luther King Drive, wherever you are. When you cross the street, there's no stoplights, there's no stop signs. So you got to learn how to navigate just getting across the street. So guys, be careful when you get over here. A lot of times you just got to step out there and then go like this, stop, man, stop, and then keep going. And then here's the traffic going this way. You got to go this way. Hey, hold on, man, until you get to the other side. But excuse me, guys, that's the problem.
Yeah, I'll say that, Calvin. It's not like in America when you're in the crosswalk. When you're in a crosswalk in America, most people, 9 times out of 10, they're going to stop for you and let you cross. Here, you better hold your horses and then cross the street. or you are going to be the street because they going to run you over.
Yeah, those are facts, man. It's probably more people killed over here in that crosswalk. I tell Maryland all the time, that's a waste of paint. That's a waste of paint, man, because they're not going to stop. If you run through that crosswalk in America, you're going to lose your license. You could lose your license, right? But over here, it's just like, that's a waste of paint, guys. But you got to be careful. It took me 30 minutes. The first time I came to Cebu in 2009, it took me 30 minutes to get across the street from Fuentes Circle to Robinson Mall. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, where's the damn stoplight? You know, there is no stoplight. Yeah. Kamal says, so there's no such thing as jaywalking. It is. In certain cities like Cebu, and only in certain areas, you know, they're going to have the lights. And of course, they got me for jaywalking. And I'm crossing the street with 1,000 people against the light, but they got me. You know why, don't you? Because I could pay the guy, I think we paid him 50 pesos or 100 pesos to let us go. You know, but I'm walking across with 1,000 Filipinos. Yeah. But yeah, guys, crossing the street over is a big deal. But yeah, Scott, I want to thank you, man, for coming on. I'm going to have you on again because we've got to get out of here. Well, what time is it? 10 what? No, we got to get out. I won't be rushing. We got to check out, and we want to leave early because if not, now, you know, they're getting back to almost normal over here where they're packing these buses and, you know, it's still a pandemic, guys. Remember that. It's still a pandemic. That nobody has officially come on television and said the pandemic is over. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. How is the pandemic going to end, Scott?
I don't know. I don't know.
You think that's what's going to happen? You think they're going to just come on TV and say it's over, on, you know, back to your lives as normal, or what?
If they can keep politics out of it and money exchanged in hands where it should be, maybe they'll do that. And I really hope they do because, you know, the vast majority of the people are guided by that stuff anyway and guided by that fear anyway. But now it's real. Now, trust me, I've had family members die because of COVID and stuff. I'm not joking. I don't. Yeah, we're gonna have. But I just hope the announcement comes, or we just gradually and slowly just get back to what we knew as normal before 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, 3 years ago, really. To be honest with you, man, we lost 3 years of our lives, but I guess that's the power of the human mind. We picked up as if nothing ever happened, but something happened, Scott, and I think we need to acknowledge it at least. You know, I think we're in denial. You know, we were locked down in the Philippines. I mean, this was the strictest lockdown on the entire planet. All right. At one point, I could not leave that squatters area I was in for 6 months. Only a little area outside the door. I would look out. 6 months, man. It was like being in prison. So I know it affected me. It was the reason I started my channel. But, you know, to pretend like it never happened, I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem. So, you know, I know it affected me. And I hope I can recover. You know, I think I'll recover with the help of everybody, with you guys watching me. I've been able to recover pretty good because I was about to lose my man. But yeah, guys, they crying wolf on human trafficking over here in the Philippines. You know, this passport bro movement, I consider myself a part of it, Scott, simply because I support it. I've been traveling, you know, I was in the Navy, and I've been traveling on my own since 2006, you know, but I just want to be a part of it just to say I support it. I support brothers getting their passport and getting out and seeing the rest of this beautiful earth, because the earth belongs to us all, and seeing what other options they have. You know, one thing I did notice when I was in the Navy, everywhere I went, I was treated a whole lot better than I was at home. I picked that up right away. I was only 18 years old. I was like, wow. When I was in Brazil, I was like, I don't even want to go back home. Okay. But so I'm behind that, but I'm just warning you guys that when you make these videos, it's got to be about more. You know, Scott was talking about some compelling stuff today about why he's here and, you know, what he's able to do over here, and his money goes further and everything like that. See, this is the videos we need to start making. Quit making it about putting these women in front of this camera talking about, look what I got. I mean, act like you've been somewhere before. That's all I'm saying, because they're going to spin that to destroy this movement, man, which is a beautiful movement. They're never going to show the side where I told you about the man. His name is Steve. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. His devotion for his Filipino wife, I'll put him in my Hall of Fame. I've got a Hall of Fame, Scott. This man's going into my Hall of Fame because he stood by his wife through sickness and in health, man, okay? This woman was beautiful at one time, beautiful shape, the whole 9 yards. That stroke down there killed her, and he didn't skip a beat. His love, man, and his commitment to her, man. They should do a Lifeline movie about it, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. They're never gonna tell that, but I am. Be careful watching across the street over here. You know, Scott, where you are, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Now, have you been to that sandbar yet?
I have. White Sands, yes. Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful, right?
It's beautiful. It's the first place. The day I got off the plane when I first visited here some time ago, that's the very first place I went to.
Yeah, you stand on it, and then you're just surrounded by all the mountains, and I mean, it's crazy, man. It's like, it's one of those views that it's going to be stamped into your mind forever. You'll never forget it, right?
Never forget it. And you can see the left and right ends of the island, just that little bit of distance off the coast, right? And you're standing on those white sands, and then looking back, literally you can see the left and right edges of the island. You can take the whole island, and it's just incredible. Incredible.
It is. But there's so many places like that over here. That's why I tell guys, you can never see it all over here. It would take you for the rest of your life to try to see it. I've seen several views like that. I went to, I was on my way to Gaitai, which I don't remember being there because the jet lag hit me. But all I remember was coming back, and I'm looking out at this tall volcano in the middle of Tall Lake. And it's something I'll never, ever forget. It was a sight, one of the most amazing sights I've ever set my eyes on. Something like Sugarloaf Mountain down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You know, this is a beautiful part of the earth. You can call it the Philippines if you want. You know, that's what the Spanish called it. It was something else long before the Philippines, man. I'm home because the earth is my home, Scott. And, you know, I argue with anybody about that. But, man, you've been a great guest, man. You've thrown some gems out here today. And I'm going to give you the last minute or two. Say whatever you want to say about guys who are thinking about coming over here and whatever you want to say, man. The stage is yours.
Yeah, and thanks, Calvin. Seriously, I mean, thank you so much. I'm going to tell you, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but there's somebody listening to us right now that is probably experiencing some challenges in their life. And you don't need to broadcast those challenges to anybody. You just hold tight, sit still for a little bit. And if that's you, and if you're going through something in your life and you're looking for a life change, and especially if it's having to do with traveling or coming over here, this is all I want to say. Whatever that obstacle or challenge is, it's there for a reason. And that obstacle and challenge is not just an obstacle, but it's divine intervention to redirect your steps to put you on a different path in life. You're going through that for a reason. Make that pivot that you need to and get on the path that is divine and they're available to you. And I'm just going to say, go for it. Just whatever it is, whatever that obstacle or challenge is, if you want to do more for other people, then do it. Take that path and just be deliberate and go. And every step you take, I guarantee you the path will appear, and it'll be the right path that you need to go. Just keep walking toward that, and you'll get there. And Calvin, listen, man, my buddy Sean wanted me to tell you, man, tell him I'm a big fan, Lake Elsinore, California, Southern California. Your voice is getting out there. You're making a difference. I am here because of you, Calvin. I'm here because of you. I made a checklist based on what you were talking about, the things that you need to do to get over here and be successful when you get over here. And now it's crazy because we're blessing a lot of people. That's all I got to say.
Hey, thank you so much, man. That means a whole lot. Come on, thanks for that super chat. He said, great dialogue. We do not control who comes into our life or know the effects. We never know what the wind blew in. Good or bad, we have to learn and build. I'm going to piggyback off that, man. Thoughts become things, man. Even the bad ones. Remember we were talking about when you put it out there in the universe, it comes back. Stop putting that negative stuff out there. Stop sitting around moping and concentrating on your problem because it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. There's a law of substitution. You can only think one thought at a time. Substitute that negative thought for a positive thought, man. Just practice it. It's just like courage or anything else. As you practice courage, you get more courageous. Okay? If you practice positivity, you become more positive, guys, but I just want to piggyback off that, man. Thoughts become things, but quit putting that negative stuff out there because it's coming back, guys. Put that positive stuff out there. Try it. You ain't got nothing to lose. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off here. When there's nothing to lose from trying and everything to gain if successful, by all means, try it. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Stay COVID-free. I'll see you next time. Scott, I'm going to stay in touch, man. We're going to get a real interview face-to-face before you head back. I'll get on a plane, man, because you speak in my language, brother. And this is nothing but the universe bringing you into close proximity to me. And I tell Marilyn all the time, when the universe puts something out there, you need to get it. Because if you don't, you got to suffer the consequence. Okay. Right. Take care, everybody. Thanks again, brother. It's been a blessing.